Hello everyone, I am TitanicSizedReviews, and today I am reviewing Come Play. It is a 2020 movie, PG-13, horror, science fiction, suspense, 97 minutes long. At the time of me making this, you can watch it on Freevee or Amazon Prime. This is going to be my 13 of 31 Halloween horror movies. So the basis of this story is that Oliver, a young boy, doesn't really have any friends, and he starts getting, I would say, messages. It's a storybook put on his phone about a friendly monster who just wants to be friends with him. He's going to try to contact him through technology. He'll break lights, anything electrical, basically. You can only see him in cameras and such. Oliver does not have the ability to speak. He has autism, I believe. His mom and dad are currently separating in the beginning of the movie. He used to have an old friend who is now his bully. All of these things are obviously going to play into the story and how it affects Oliver. I'm going to go over the story real quick, so there will be spoilers, and then I'm just going to give my my review, what I think of it. So the movie starts with Oliver kind of being watched through his phone as he's watching SpongeBob. He's a big SpongeBob fan. You're going to see SpongeBob a lot throughout the movie. It shows him getting up from bed late at night, walking into his parents' room, not seeing his dad in his bed, going downstairs, seeing his dad on the couch. He gets himself some water. He goes back upstairs, and he sees his phone, and it has the story about Larry, the friendly monster. Misunderstood monster. Well, you see the lights begin to flicker in his room as he's reading this book. The door kind of opens on its own. He closes it and somehow it's open automatically. He blocks the door. It doesn't matter. It begins to like bang a little bit. He gets scared, hides underneath his covers, and he thinks he's about to be taken by this monster. And then his mom grabs him, tells him he's having a nightmare. It's fine. It's basically the end of that night right there. You go to the next morning. The parents are getting ready for work. You see Dad with a laser measure talking to him like, oh, you want a hug? You got to come closer. You're too far. Clearly, the laser measure is going to play a part in the movie later on. It does. There's a bunch of moving boxes in the living room. Oliver thinks that they're moving. He doesn't fully know that his dad is getting the boot. Oliver goes to school. He gets misled by one of the other children there who acts like his friend for a moment, and then he goes out into this field right next to the school. Somehow no one sees him. And then he gets bullied by one of his old friends. I don't really remember any of the little kids' names besides Oliver. They bully him slightly. It's not that bad. We then transition to him in child development, where his mom's talking about how she was afraid he was missing or got taken. And the child development lady's trying to help him, speak, learn, all that. We transition to the dad at work. During this time in the field, the kids who are bullying him throw his phone somewhere in that super grassy field, so he doesn't have a phone anymore. This is important because the monster has to contact him through technology. I'm bringing this up because it matters right now. So as the dad's at work, you begin to see lights flicker and stuff in his little booth where he takes tickets. And the wind's blowing. And at one point, you see these newspapers just cling on to Larry. They just cling on to Larry. He doesn't see Larry, of course. This is happening behind him. But it's just like a sort of outline of his head, part of his body, I guess. Just the newspaper blowing in the wind, catching on Larry. It's a cool moment. I like the way it looks a lot. Well, the dad finds a tablet, because Larry kind of turns it on. He brings home the tablet. Oliver gets super excited, turns it on, and he starts playing with the filters on it. Where the face is, it changes. He changes to a Viking, to a skull, and at one point it says, add a friend for more fun, or whatever. He puts it on, and you can see Larry's face creeping in the closet. He obviously gets scared. So he puts it down. The dad leaves later that night. And then it's the next morning. And Oliver just starts typing in on his tablet to speak like he does since he can't normally speak. I don't know why he started typing right away. I guess it's because he knew Larry was there, because his mom's not in the room. He just asked if his dad left, and the tablet responds, yes. And the tablet starts talking to him. He gets a little scared, obviously. His mom comes in, mentions how there's going to be a sleepover. She didn't hear the tablet at all, of course. And once you get to the sleepover, which is right after this, the people who were invited were the bullies, the ones who threw his phone in the field in the first place. You find out that Oliver accidentally hit the main bully at one point, and that's why the mom didn't want them to be friends. Whatever. You basically transition to the end of the sleepover. We have no idea what happens like in the middle. Probably nothing. Just seems a little weird as well. Well, Oliver's kind of pointing at a closet, looking at it, I should say, and the bullies go over to see what's going on. They think maybe there's candy in there. They take the tablet, and then they see the story of Larry, and the lights begin to flicker and break, and they get scared. So they pull up the tablet, they pull up the camera, because Oliver knows that he can see him, partially. And in this, you begin to see really what Larry looks like. You see his gross, pale body, all bony. He's like an alien from the fourth kind. I think it's the fourth kind with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. Could be wrong. Whatever. Well, the bully kid walks over there because he thinks that this is just a filter. Starts talking some shit. Obviously, Larry doesn't take kindly to this. He pushes the table in the way and kind of chokes him. The mom comes downstairs finally. They were screaming a while ago, but she finally comes downstairs. Calls the parents. They go home. The bully blames Oliver at that moment before leaving. Whatever. The bully's not in class the next day or two. I'm not sure how much time passed there. Well, during this time you transition to the mom, and she's at home, and she has the tablet, and she sees the story of the monster pop up. She reads it a little bit. She walks around. All of a sudden, all these new light bulbs that she had bought to fix the ones that broke from the sleepover, they're just in the sockets on their own. She knows something's going on. She hears noises. And then Larry talks to her through the tablet and says he's going to take Oliver. So she obviously goes to the school in a panic to get Oliver out of there. As she's taking him out, they get a call from that bully's mom. So they go over there to see what's going on. The bully admits that it wasn't Oliver who did it, it was Larry. And the mom realizes that Larry is indeed real. Some shit's gonna happen. So they go back to their house real quick, pack up. You see Larry walking around when Oliver picks up the tablet again. Sees him through the camera, walking to his room all creepy. So he goes into his room, and you don't really see Larry fully, you just see his really long, stretched out hand. And he pulls out a sponge, because he knows Oliver loves SpongeBob. Tries to get Oliver to grab Larry's hand, so that way he can take him. The mom comes in though, gets him, and they leave. She doesn't know Larry is there messing with him at that moment. They go to their dad's, his dad's. Now the dad doesn't think anything is going on, obviously, so he takes him to work with him. And eventually, the lights go out there while they're playing with the tablet a bit. Even though Oliver doesn't want his dad to, the dad does a little bit. So he goes to get his tools, tries to fix the light. Oliver goes outside with that laser pointer from the beginning, starts pointing it around, and of course Larry starts getting closer and closer to him. You can see it because it's a laser measure. And Oliver has a sticky hand with him that he plays with, and he lands it on Oliver. It gets stuck to him. The dad comes out and just grabs him. He doesn't see the sticky hand sticking to anything. You know, he's just worried about his child getting hit by a car. Alright. Well, once they get back in the booth, the lights begin to flicker some more. They go out. The dad pulls up the tablet, and he sees the reflection of a face. And then when he turns around, he sees Oliver floating, and he kind of gets attacked by Larry. Well, the dad manages to get Oliver out of there, and they dip. They go back to the house, and the parents start talking. They decide to break the tablet, which they do. Oliver's back at school, and that one kid who was the bully is back at school as well. And they start talking about how the mom, Oliver's mom, lied about how Oliver didn't want to be that bully's friend anymore. Well, they're friends again. Then you transition to the dad late at night, and he's looking around kind of weird. It's a really quick scene right there. Lights go out. He knows Larry's bitch ass is there. Well, he hides in the booth. He breaks off a piece of the chair. As Larry gets in the booth, he manages to get out, and he kind of locks it in with the chair piece he snapped off, so that way Larry can't open the door anymore. He drives in a panic, and apparently Larry can haul ass, because Larry is chasing after him and taking out every single street light in the process. He winds up on the truck. The lights go out. He obviously, the dad drops the phone real quick that he was using to see him. Grabs it, picks it up. He looks to his side, and Larry's in the fucking car right next to him. You get to see a glimpse of Larry's face real quick. Boom. Car accident. Dad's in the hospital. The mom obviously gets worried and starts throwing out every electronic in the house. As she looks at the TV, though, before she can do it, Larry pulls up his book that mentions he needs someone to read it fully earlier on. And he just basically goes through all the pages super quick, so that way they kind of read it. Oliver begins to freak out a little bit. Mom kind of insults him. Then she feels bad. And then Larry, as Mom grabs Oliver and takes him outside to try to leave, Larry starts coming through all the electronics that she throws out that were on the floor. And he's in the real world. So they run back in the house. Larry gets up and goes into the house himself. You get a much better look at him now. He's very pale, very tall, very skinny. Starts walking around all creepy in the house. Somehow doesn't manage to catch them as they're going to the front door, but they aren't able to get out, so they have to go upstairs. So they start hiding under the bed. And then Oliver kind of calls out his mom under the bed. Says that she lied about the friend thing. She apologizes. Larry's in the room now. And the lights begin to flicker a bit, and Oliver can see that it's affecting Larry's presence there in the real world. It's kind of messing him up. So Oliver says no electrical field. He's actually able to talk. That's when Larry jumps right at them under the bed. You really get a good look at his face. He chases after them. Oliver grabs a baseball bat, starts breaking the lights, and it sends Larry away for a moment. So they start running, and they run back to that field where there's no electronics, and the mom feels safe for a moment. She's like, "You did it, you did it." And then all of a sudden, they hear a noise. And the mom realizes that, oh, my son's phone is in this field where he was left that day. So Larry jumps out, chases after them. They get separated around a car because they decide to let go of each other's hands for some reason. They just get split up. Larry pops up and takes Oliver into the forest. But he has to get Oliver to grab his hand willingly to take him with him. Oliver is about to do this, and then Oliver's mom pops up, grabs his hand instead, says, "Larry, I'll be your friend." You get a great look at Larry during this part. It looks pretty good. It's weird. Well, she just tells her son that she loves him, and then her face kind of begins to crack and get a little creepy looking. And then she gets taken away by Larry. She's gone. We transition to child development. He's in the room just drawing, trying to talk a little bit. His dad's there. They talk about, how the mom's missing. Transition again to the next that night. And Oliver goes to the kitchen for some water, and he starts playing and having fun in the living room, and the dad hears this and goes downstairs and sees Oliver floating. He thinks it's Larry, but soon finds out it's the mom. And that's the end of the movie. I like this movie a lot. I do. There's certain parts, maybe very few parts, that I was just like, There's no real violence, besides maybe the child being choked. And the dad, I guess, having a car accident, but you don't really see a whole lot. It is PG-13. I'd give this movie a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I enjoy it. I like a good monster. I think the monster's good. Like I do. I think it's made very well. I think the scenes are shot very well. It's a good story. It's creepy. Like, it has its moments that are definitely creepy. If you like this video, please click subscribe. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what I could do better. Let me know if you agree with my opinion, if you disagree with my opinion. Please. Thank you for watching.